Hola, Sai here, Wisdom of the Way, and I would like to share with you about how to overcome fear. How do we overcome our fears? How do you overcome your fears? I'm going to share a little bit about what helps me to move through my fears, to be less held or less preoccupied or bound by my fears. And firstly, I'd like to say that this sharing is for me. It's a reminder for me. You know, this is a journey, it's a process. Yes, I still have fears. A lot of fears come up in different moments. And some of them are old fears, some of them are new fears. What I realize is that fear is very dynamic and it changes. And a part of understanding fear, firstly, is to see it, understand and see that it exists, that I am experiencing it, and then accepting that, and also being able to see it or express it, sometimes even sharing it, is what actually helps that fear dissolve or become lesser. So there's for me, two key components that I was thinking about today when it was around fear. And this contemplation came up because I was just doing a breathwork session. And I'm sharing about this. I'm sharing about the breathwork session because in the session, what came up for me, one of the things I saw was that I care about what people think about me. Now, I mean, this is a fear. What will people say? How do people see me? This self-criticism or self-consciousness. And it's something that it's not new to me. I'm aware of it, very aware of it. And obviously it's been there most of my life. So I think by understanding the fear, firstly, when it arises, is going, okay, it's there, it's that thing. And actually in that act, the fear becomes less. So I feel much more comfortable. For me, it's even challenging to like share a fear or share this part with the camera, with you, because it feels like I'm exposing myself. And and there's an element of shame with that because it's something that in those moments when I'm really in my mind with it is that it's something that I'm struggling to accept or I'm wishing that it wasn't there. In other moments when I'm in my heart and even by speaking about it with you here now, it helps me just connect and make it normal. And I know it's a normal thing because if this was someone else sharing this, I'd be saying, dude, man, woman, person, absolutely, like that's normal, you know, like, so I think that's the thing about being able to give ourselves that safety and our own security, to be able to hold ourselves, to be able to hold myself, helps. So this is actually, sharing this right now is an act. It takes a little courage, but it's an act of holding myself and lessening that fear. Yeah. Feel free to write anything in the comments, and I won't take it too personally. Really, really, it's a great practice. And so, one of the ways of overcoming fear is in small ways, like this right now, of seeing something come up and being able to express it. After the session, and I was like we were sharing, and I was sharing with someone, and in the group, and I had this reticence. I was really hesitant to speak about this because it felt a bit raw, and I felt a bit exposed. And but I did, and I shared with this woman, and she said, "You know what? exact same thing came up for me in the session, you know, around pleasing others and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, connected to that fear of like, is the other okay? Am I okay? Am I doing things right? Um, so it was a very powerful experience. And what made it powerful was that taking that step to expose it. So I said two things, yeah, that really help around overcoming our fears or helping me overcome my fears. One is to enter the fear. Yeah. And I think we all have experiences of that where we've gone into something that we don't feel comfortable with or that really scares us to greater or lesser degrees. And another example for me is that I have had this fear about not having money and financial security. And so I thought, this is some years ago, and I'm not sure if I've shared this in a video, or if not, I will in another one, because it's a really big experience. It was very, very, very powerful and useful for me. But that was to take a journey without money and to go into the world and not take money, not take credit cards, and see what happens. Yeah. And it was very powerful. Very, very powerful. And a lot of things happened, and I'll share that in another video. It wasn't about having a free experience. It was about learning about my value when I don't have money and many other things. But primarily it was about entering the fear. What happens? And everything was okay. Actually, it was a very, very, very powerful experience. A great learning experience. So many deep, deep, deep realizations. And they only became realizations, insights, wisdom, because they're lived, because I lived them, not because someone told me about how to do it. And that's the other thing, we have to experience the life for ourselves. So entering our fear. Doing that, did that get rid of all of my fears about not having money? No. But it certainly helped. It certainly helped me see, okay, I am much more than the money or the resources that I have. My value is much greater, and I have many infinite ways of being able to adapt to situations, and I can survive and I can thrive also without money. Now, this is nothing against money. It's just an example. It's not against anything, actually. The second point that I'd like to make around how to overcome our fears, one of them is also to be able to change our state, to change our consciousness, to be able to transcend our mind, but transcend our mind not just in a moment. Sure, there's things that we can do, there's practices that we might have, experiences that we might have. For me, it's been a lot around Kriya Yoga, and this deeper meditation yogic experience helps me and has helped me to transcend my mind and connect more deeply with myself, and in that state change my consciousness state, change my awareness. And when my consciousness state changes, so too does the content of my mind. And then many of those things that seem to be so important or even fearful are no longer important, or are less important or less fearful. And it's amazing how it changes our perspective, our reality of life, and our experience of life. What about for you? How do you overcome fear? What's helped you overcome fear? These are really valuable learnings and lessons, and then we've all got wisdom to share on this. And it really helps each of us, especially when we're able to share and bring these into the topics of our contemplations and our conversations, and make these things that sometimes hold us so tightly, in a contracted way, in a closed way. We can make it normal, and even by just sharing it, we can really liberate those fears and understand that it's a very normal part of the human experience. So, wishing you healthy, blessed explorations in your fears and freedom and many blessings for the path.